Welcome back to No Nostalgia Filter. I'm Angelo.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Raven.
And we're going to be filtering the Bethesda press conference now. I gotta admit, I didn't expect a lot going into the press conference.
Yeah, I was like, well, what are they gonna have? What are they gonna...
We actually had that conversation right before the press conference. We're like...
It's like Elder Scrolls 6?
Maybe
really,
6?
I don't really think it's time for Elder Scrolls 6.
It's weird because it's hard to think about what games Bethesda actually does. I mean, we like them, but last year was that year, right?
Right.
But Fallout 4 and Doom just came out, and, this is a while back, but Skyrim.
Right.
So, I don't know. We were like, what the heck are they going to show? And someone online in the stream we were watching was like, they could do Quake. We were like, oh yeah, Quake. And the Bethesda press conference opens, and they're like, guess what we're showing? We're showing Quake.
Quake.
Yeah. They announced Quake Champions. I have no idea how it plays because it was just a cinematic trailer. In fact, much like the EA press conference, they show barely any gameplay.
Well, there were some things that had gameplay. We'll get to that later. Yeah. But boy, howdy, was there not any Quake.
Yeah.
No.
That was some great Quake gameplay that they did not have.
They had a cinematic trailer that showed a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different weapons, and a bunch of different abilities shooting each other. And they had a guy come on, and they were like, we're going to have a bunch of different unique characters with a bunch of different unique abilities for you to play. And I'm just like...
Oh. Yeah,
show us some.
Right. First of all, they didn't actually show us any of the... Like, I assume that some of those things that happened in the cinematic trailer were abilities that are going to be playable. But it was like... I was mostly like, is anyone else getting a TF2 Overwatch kind of vibe here? Like they said, like we've got, unique things about the Quake franchise. Like unique characters with unique abilities. That's not unique anymore.
For that matter, I really thought that we were past the point of shooter saturation.
Yeah,
I thought we were getting to the point where we realized that, okay, the shooter was a cool formula. We don't need a million of them. But this is the second press conference, the second one in E3, and I think we've already seen like 6 different shooters.
We've certainly seen at least
Quake
4.
and Battlefield 1 and Mass Effect. I mean, it's a shooter RPG. There's that thing, and Titanfall 2.
God, yeah.
And just all of the, and I mean, some of the other things we're going to tell you later
right.
today.
It's like shooter, sports shooter, cool RPG.
It's just, it's. I mean, I'm worried because we haven't gotten to Microsoft, which is going to show Gears of War.
Right.
We haven't gotten to Sony, which I'm sure is going to show the next Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like this is going to be a year when we're going to see 10 shooters come out, in addition to the fact that, like, Overwatch just came out and Battleborn came out, and people already don't give a shit about that. I feel like...
About Battleborn. I get the impression that people give many shits about it.
Oh, yeah, but not Battleborn. So I feel... As much as I want to be hype about Quake, because it's Quake, and Quake was awesome, rocket packs and jump jets and bouncy bullets and all that crap, I can't be hype about any shooter that comes out in a year where 10 new, serious multiplayer shooters come out.
Yeah, it feels like, it's like, all right, we already have all these shooters, now you're going to give us more shooters? Give us something other than shooters!
They just released Doom.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time bragging about Doom.
About how awesome Doom was that we just released it last month. Isn't it awesome? It's totally awesome.
I mean,
buy this other shit.
Yeah, they had some, content for it, didn't they?
Yeah, they had Doom Snap Map. Which is the content system that they're already... It's their modding system, and it's really powerful. But they're adding... basically, they're letting you make single-player campaigns now.
Okay.
And they're giving you more locales, and they announced the first DLC pack, which, I mean, I don't fucking care. If you're playing multiplayer Doom, you're gonna buy it. If you don't play multiplayer Doom, you're not gonna buy it. That's just how it is. Like they didn't have a whole lot for for Doom, but like they were really excited about it.
We did Doom!
Yay!
Again!
Now buy this other shooter. Moving on, they had the Elder Scrolls Legends CCG.
Oh yeah, because like nothing follows up taking your big name franchise into an MMO like taking the same big name franchise
into a collectible card game.
Has let's try to be Blizzard better than Blizzard ever been a viable business strategy?
Not that I know of.
And it's certainly not now.
Even Blizzard has trouble with that business strategy.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, Blizzard released Heroes of the Storm, and it wasn't anywhere near as big as Dota 2, which isn't anywhere near as big as League of Legends, which is made by people who modded Warcraft 3, which was made by Blizzard. So, in fact, Blizzard by several Kevin Bacons is not as good as themselves. But so basically, they're doing a Hearthstone style collectible card game. We didn't get to see much of the gameplay. In fact, we just watched the press conference and the in-depth stuff. We're blogging while they show the in-depth stuff. We'll watch that later.
But it looks like the one thing we did see. It looks like cards are going to level up, not during the game, like in SolveForge, but in your collection, which strikes me as a deeply unpromising concept. What that sounds like is you will never get to open an awesome card. You will only open crappy cards, and then you need to open more cards to make your cards that were crappy now good.
Yeah, like, do I have to play with my crappy cards to make them level up to be good cards? Like, just using Hearthstone stats, right?
Because we're all
do I like start like with like a 4 mana 3/2, and then I level it up to a 3 mana 3/2, a 2 mana 3/2, and then maybe a 1 mana 3/2? Because I'm never going to play that 4 mana 3/2 to start with. Like,
no,
you might if all your cards suck.
Okay, I wouldn't play that. Like, unless that's all I had to play.
Well, that's the point. I think we're saying. Like,
yeah, I know.
Like, but then, don't you just like level up the cards you get immediately? And I mean, it makes it seem. I mean, they had this whole big single player campaign thing with like owls and shit.
Yeah, no, they had like a cinematic. It wasn't fully cinematic.
Yeah,
it was storyboardy. They had a bunch of images and they were narrating them over. But they had like a dramatic trailer for the single player mode of their online CCG.
Yeah,
it was like, no.
I mean, I reserve judgment. It might be fun. I want to demo it when they give us a chance to demo it, but much like online RPGs and why the Elder Scrolls Online isn't doing better than World of Warcraft, I just don't have it in me to keep up with like 2 serious collectible card games. Like, I used to play Magic, and I couldn't do another collectible card game with that, and it's the same deal online. Like, I can't play another game other than Hearthstone. I just won't have enough time to do daily quests for both and manage my, my collection for both and play games with both. And Hearthstone has a good 3 years on them and just introduced a lot of new gameplay elements, so...
Also, like, if Elder Scrolls Legends is going to do the thing where you get a crappy card and then have to level it up, Hearthstone doesn't do that. You get a crappy card, but you also can open packs that just give you legendaries.
Well, we don't
awesome cards.
We don't know if that's going to be the case.
Right,
like, that's the thing.
It definitely looked like leveling up cards in your collection.
It did look like that.
Yeah, so if they're going to do that, why not just play Hearthstone?
Well, that's we're theory crafting that.
I know.
We can't poo-poo it just due to theory craft, but we can say.
Oh, we can.
Well, we can.
Maybe we shouldn't, but believe me, we can.
But in general, my thoughts on this is, Anybody who is interested in playing an online CCG is playing Hearthstone right now, and I am deeply skeptical that they will be able to draw many people away from that.
Yeah, it's like, what is the particular draw of that going to be?
I mean, it looks like they're doing the lore. Like, the lore is going to be the thing that they're banking on.
I guess, but how much lore can you fit in a card title?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently,
you got a Hearthstone deck, and someone drops, Kane, and you're like, my old bones ache in time with the computer, because that's kind of the world they're building from. You can't really do that.
Drop Patrick Stewart.
You're right.
And he immediately dies. But anyway, moving on.
Like the bird.
They talked about the Vault Tech Workshop. Basically, it's just more user-generated stuff for Fallout 4, more mod support. I didn't care. It's weird because going into this, actually, I'm gonna spoiler right now. We actually liked this, but we need to get through all the stuff that we didn't care.
Yeah, and frankly, Fallout killed my parents when I couldn't cross the mall in Fallout 3 without the game crashing.
Yeah, Fallout 4, although they kept hammering on it, one of the best games of the year, one of the most bought games of the year, most people were like, it doesn't run. It just, we'll wait until modders help it out. I don't care. And so I also didn't care about that. They basically, the whole thing was like, modders are going to do stuff, right? Yeah, modders are going to do stuff. Awesome.
That's not a game development company. That's like a description of other people running a game development company, but you get the money. Which is a nice gig if you can get it.
Yeah. They announced Nuka World, which is going to be like their first big expansion for Fallout 4, which takes place in an abandoned theme park. And we saw that leaked earlier because there was a line of game code that referenced Nuka World. Cool. All it was a cinematic trailer, and it was like 30 seconds of a cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
If you liked Fallout 4, you'll like this. It seems like a pretty cool world, But once again, that's if you liked Fallout 4, and I have a feeling that Fallout 4 is going to be a much cooler game like a year from now. So that's that. They had an update to Fallout Shelter, which I was actually really interested in. First of all, it's coming to PC, so you don't have to play it on a frickin' iOS device anymore. It has a new combat system, new party systems, new quests, new items. Basically, Fallout Shelter was an amazing mobile game. If you liked sort of like base building, people management, sort of like old school sim style games. And this just looks like they're expanding it, and I really liked it. And now anybody who couldn't play it on mobile can play it on PC, so thumbs to that. I wonder if the PC version is going to be free like the mobile version was. Hopefully. They didn't really say anything about that.
No, they didn't.
But I really liked Fallout Shelter. I would recommend other people play it. They had me there. It's really good. They had Skyrim remastered.
They made Skyrim prettier, which is nice. That's kind of, that's almost why you play an Elder Scrolls game. So you can go, ooh, stab a crab.
When they announced it and they were like Skyrim Remastered, we started and we were like, it's just Skyrim Remastered. And then they showed us the comparison between the two and we were like, oh, that's nice.
These are.
It is significantly prettier.
Yeah, we all got the kind of googly gaga.
It's not like just a texture update. It is significantly prettier.
These are some orgasmic trees and mountains here.
Some real good-looking god race.
That's not what they're called. All right, this is apparently. All right, we're talking about this thing where the sun is kind of going down in an angle and shining through the clouds, and you can see diagonal rays of light coming through the clouds. And this has a name. These are called crepuscular rays. That is what they are called by weather scientists who name weather things for science.
They're god rays.
God race.
No, they're not.
So after after Rob had his meltdown, then the guys who did Dishonored 2 took the stage. But before they talked about Dishonored 2, and we'll talk about Dishonored 2.
They sure did.
Yeah, they had a new IP, which is the first new IP of the whole convention. Hooray!
Yay! New content.
And it's called Prey, and it's like if Dead Space met Groundhog Day. That's the best I could possibly.
Yeah, it seems to be like Dead Space, but more headfucky.
Yeah.
Which, well done.
Yeah.
That's a hard bar to get over.
Yeah, they did.
I don't like. They showed the trailer to us. I mean, it was a concept trailer, so it was done first person. Like, it was supposed to look like the game. It was really artistically done. The narration was really interesting. I entirely suggest that you go watch that trailer because it's hard to describe. Yeah, in general, there's some sort of time loop thing happening. Some weird experiment is going on. Very futuristic, very sci-fi, but it's good. It looks good. Like, it looks like, in terms of atmospheric horror shooter sci-fi stuff, I'm in there. Like, they got me. They hooked me. Like, it was a pretty cool IP.
Yeah, no, I am excited for that one.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes 3 of us.
And then I had just this long period where they talked about the Elder Scrolls Online. And I was falling asleep.
Speaking of deeply unpromising concept, and I am actually a big Elder Scrolls fan. I am the big Elder Scrolls fan in this room. But like an Elder Scrolls MMO is like, well, hey, you know what this series needs? It needs a way to play it where the storyline matters less, and your character is kind of more generic, has less personality, and your decisions have fewer consequences. And people are going to talk about butts. So this is like I don't know what's accomplished by making this an MMO. I'm reminded of the Myst MMO. Like, why? Just why? No, stop.
They announced a new expansion for it. It's basically a whole expansion having to do with the Assassin's Guild.
Because everyone loves the Assassin's Guild. 2NG5U.
It's called Dark Brotherhood.
That's what the Assassin's Guild is called.
If you liked the Elder Scrolls Online, cool.
And you like the Dark Brotherhood plots, which I actually never did.
Then cool. I mean, it's really... It's hard to say whether or not this is going to be awesome, because, like, they already know if they've had you. Like, if you are a longtime subscriber to the Elder Scrolls Online, you are going to get this. If not, you are not. It's not going to win anybody over.
I can imagine people who were really, really hype over the Dark Brotherhood plot lines in, like, Oblivion and Skyrim going, oh, hey, I can do that in the MMO now, maybe I should get on there. They're certainly not going to get me.
Yeah. They also announced one Tamriel, where it's like, now you can go anywhere you want, regardless of your level, and do anything you want. And they're like, this is the first time this has ever been done in an open world game like this. And my first thing was, No, it's not.
Well, then I'm sure they mean in an open world MMO.
Right, and it's still not. Like, you were able to go do whatever quest you wanted in Ragnarok Online, which was like a stupid sprite-based Korean or like MMO. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like they were trying to build it up. They don't have me. They might already have you, and I'm not even shitting on the Dark Brotherhood because it looked cool for the people who want to do it, but it's just not for me.
I'm shitting on the Dark Brotherhood. Like just as a concept, not that particular expansion to that particular game. I'm just gonna shit on the Dark Brotherhood, and then they'll kill me because I shot on an assassin.
Then they had a thing about Bethesda VR, which was mostly you can play Doom in VR, and you can play Fallout 4 in VR. But most importantly, they're coming to the HTC Vive, not the Oculus Rift, which is going to make a huge difference, because up until now, the Vive was sort of the gimmicky one because it had no real games on it. And the Rift was the one with like Eve Valkyrie and like an actual game lineup. But if major third-party developers are throwing their weight behind the Vive, for that matter, Valve is throwing their weight behind the Vive, and Steam is behind the Vive, that might make the Vive overtake the Oculus. Bethesda support, definitely. I think that might make it happen, because that's some real thing. And,
at the very least, it'll give it some steep competition.
I think specifically they are not coming out for the Oculus, so...
Yeah, they didn't say anything about the Oculus.
They pointedly failed to mention the Oculus.
Yeah. So, I think that's a pretty big development for VR, at least.
Yeah.
And finally, they wrapped everything up with Dishonored 2, and that was like 50%.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time. I almost think like some exec guy said, all right, we need to have a certain number of minutes of gameplay in this showcase, or everyone's going to make fun of us on the internet.
So let's put it all in Dishonored 2.
And then then like game after game was like, we're not ready. We're not ready. We're Doom. We already came out. We're not ready. We don't compile yet. And then Dishonored 2 is like, we've got time travel.
And boy, did they have time travel. So, like, actually, I want to start with the bad first, because there was actually not a whole lot of bad in Dishonored 2. The bad is that, what is, they're going to Caracas or something? Something like that.
Well, they've got a new city. It strikes me as I didn't play Dishonored 1, but it strikes me as a game where you need a new city every time.
But that's the thing. Like, the plot starts in Dunwall. It starts in the old location.
I guess that's because that's where the characters are.
Yeah, and then big assassin plot, which makes you go all the way overseas to this other place for the whole game.
Yeah.
And then you come back, like, like they even said, it starts in Dunwall and ends in Dunwall, but the majority of the game is in this other city. And I'm like,
that's a little...
Okay.
It seems a bit awkwardly written.
Yeah.
I see the constraints that led to that. Like, yes, you need a new skyline to make a new game like this. And the characters that they really wanted to use were in Dunwall, because I gather that's their capital and they're in charge of things.
But
like an empire.
But overall, like, that's the one bad thing I had to say about Dishonored 2, because everything else that they showed us was amazing. First of all, you can choose between playing Emily or Corvo, her dad. Corvo is the protagonist from Dishonored 1. They each have totally different magical powers and use totally different weapons, which I think is awesome. They showed off a lot of the cool new magical powers. She has like a magical like psi tether, which could be like, she uses telekinesis as a grappling hook. That's just like so cool.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
She can link people together so that whatever happens to one happens to all of them, which just seems unfair.
Yeah. She could turn into a horrible shadow beast. Like you do.
Yeah, the stealth move.
Yeah.
Since it's not a snake, so it does help.
Yeah. She could run on walls. She could slit people's throats. She could, like, side push them off cliffs. She could just shotgun blast them. Who cares?
We saw a lot of stabbing in the heart. Someone got blown up by whale oil.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing. There's a lot of jumping. There's a lot of, like, Assassin's Creed style jumping off rafters. There might be jumping off rafters. There were robots? Why were there robots? There were robots.
Were there
that was the thing.
robots?
Because steampunk.
Right, fair enough. They showed a lot of the city. They said that, like, it's all about this living, breathing world. It got a little boring in the middle when they were like...
They got really nerdy about their world building.
Yeah.
Which, as a wannabe writer myself, that's the kind of thing that should stay under the hood. Like...
That's the thing you geek out with your writer friends about.
Right. You should know more about how your world building works than the player. Because either you're showing all your secrets and it's not cool anymore, or you're showing more secrets than they understand and you're boring them. But that was a problem with the presentation, not
less
with the
game. Yeah, the game looks really cool. They even had stuff like you could use your side tether to, like, bring people toward you and stab them in midair if you wanted to be, like, all cool about it. You could hide corpses in shadow. You did, like, huge open world, different ways to solve every quest, branching storyline. There's nothing about it that I didn't like. And toward the end, they're like, there's one more thing we have to show you.
And it's like, that's when we were like, you already did a lot of gameplay. Like, we like gameplay. We wish the other games had gameplay, but this is long.
Yeah. And then they showed us this mind-blowing fucking thing. Like, so basically at some point in the game, you get a personal time travel device.
And you can switch back and forth between two eras or two alternate timelines.
Yeah, instantly. Which is to say...
And anywhere. You're like carrying it on your wrist.
Yeah, instantly and anywhere in the game. So, like, this is... Once again, watch this online, because this is so hard to explain. But basically, you're wearing this on your wrist, and it shows you a window into the other timeline. And so, say if there's a guard you want to kill, you can walk through these horrible ruins of this alternate timeline until you see the guard in the timeline you want to kill, time hop, kill him, time hop back so that he can't find you.
Yeah, now you're uncatchable and you can just watch from the future or the alternate timeline or whatever it was while his buddy comes over and is like, what the fuck?
If there's a locked door, time hop and just...
And it's probably ruined.
Yeah, it's ruined, or you could just, like, kick it down and time hop back. I don't know how they don't make this ability 100% broken.
It seems like it had better be an endgame ability.
Yeah, but it is just so cool, and I can't believe that they put in so much work to render every area of the game twice completely different. Like, that is an insane amount of attention to detail. Like, that's insane. I'm gushing over it. It's great. So now, for all those of you who listen to our EA podcast, where you're like, nothing's good, everything's horrible, just go home, nothing's great. You could tell that there are things that we could get excited about.
Yeah, no. Some things are terrible. I continue to shit on the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah.
But
just from the principle of the thing. But I am hype about Prey. I am hype about Dishonored 2. It makes me want to go back and play Dishonored 1.
Which you'll be able to, by the way. Because
because don't you get a copy of Dishonored 1 when you get Dishonored 2?
I think when you pre-order.
Yeah, when you if you pre-order Dishonored 2, you get a copy of Dishonored 1 with all the DLC. You get the collector's edition on the platform that you want it on. So, like, if you want Dishonored 2, you just get Dishonored 1. That, first of all, that's brilliant. You know, because, I mean, really, how many more sales are they going to get for Dishonored 1 at this point? It's like 4 years old or something.
Also,
like
2 is coming out. Why would you buy 1 when you can just get 2?
But that's brilliant for anybody who watched that and didn't play Dishonored 1, like some people here, you know? And it's just like, I want to play that. I want to play that real bad. I want to play that so fucking bad.
Yeah, like, Rob isn't the only one who's hype about Dishonored 2.
Yeah.
I do want to play Dishonored 2 and kind of want to go back and play Dishonored 1.
But yeah, I don't know. It was good. Like, the press conference, I was hype about Quake. I mean, like, there's the shooter problem, but Quake is cool.
Yeah, I'm not really into shooters.
I'm not really either. I'm kind of meh on Quake. I'm kind of meh on shooters.
I mean, it looked like they did Quake well.
Yeah, I have Overwatch to play, so I probably won't play a lot of Quake.
I was going to say, the only shooter I'm actually interested in trying is actually Overwatch.
I mentioned people caring about Overwatch.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Yeah.
Sitting next to me, caring about Overwatch.
For that matter,
as we speak.
Doom and Quake are two Bethesda products that are going to be competing against each other. So there's that.
Why would you?
But like,
think
Quake,
like,
still cool though. Quake still look cool.
Yeah, but it's not going to get any less classic if you wait a couple years for Doom to stop selling. Like, who planned that timeline?
But Quake looked cool. For as much as I'm probably not going to play it, for the people who are into it, Elder Scrolls Legends look cool.
I may actually try Elder Scrolls. It looked pretty intriguing.
The Fallout 4 expansion, for as much as Fallout 4 kind of like me, you know, it looked cool. Skyrim remastered looked beautiful. Prey did hook me. Just everything that they had to show, like, with the exception of a couple things. Like, with the exception of a couple things that died in premise for me. Mm-hmm. Right. You know? This was a pretty good press conference.
Yeah, I think I liked everything I was ever going to like.
Yeah.
If this press conference was more impressive and more intriguing than EA's was. For me personally.
That being said, no Elder Scrolls 6.
No Civ 6.
No Civ 6, although I think that's owned by 2K now, but still no Civ 6, you know?
It is too. I have trouble keeping track of what game studios are part of what other game studios.
Nothing real new from id. No new The Evil Within, which was what a lot of people thought was going to happen. So there's a lot of stuff missing, but what they had was okay.
And they came out with a new IP, which is like...
Yeah, they had a new IP.
Awesome.
First new IP of the convention. So there you go.
So, you know, great.
Yeah.
Hey, originals, things.
Not just a continuation.
This was day -1. Tomorrow is day 0. So we're going to get back to you with some stuff from the Microsoft press conference, the Ubisoft press conference, and the Sony press conference, because Nintendo is not doing press conferences anymore.
And I don't know why.
Because
as a hardcore Nintendo fan, I want Nintendo press conference.
My theory is that Nintendo's theory is that there is no such thing as a hardcore Nintendo fan. That they're that into the casual market that they don't think anyone they care about cares about E3.
Yeah.
They are wrong.
But
Just wrong.
So I guess we'll see what happens then. I mean, I'm looking forward to Sony. They're gonna have Kingdom Hearts info. And Microsoft is gonna have
some kind of
something.
info.
I feel about Kingdom Hearts 3 about the way I did about Final Fantasy 13. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna play that.
But that's a topic for tomorrow. So we will see you next time on No Nostalgia Filter.
E3 edition.